Hi guys, today we are going to be making this bloody Halloween evil animation yeah, stop doing that voice. Yeah, today we're going to be making this Halloween animation. It's really cool, it's really fun, and it's also really easy. Let's get straight into it. So the first thing you'll need is a fusion composition. I've already got one here. If you don't have one, come up here, right click and hit create new fusion composition. You do need to make sure it's about 15 seconds long, and one way of doing that is if you click on the right click, you can go up to here, and where it says change clip duration, just click there and just adjust it there. Here's one I made earlier, so I'm going to go inside that. I'm going to select everything and delete it all out. Right, let's get started. So the first thing we need is a background node, so I'm going to drag in a background node, connect it across like that. Clicking on the background node, come across here to the right and take the alpha all the way down to 0. Now normally I would bring in a merge tool, but this time I'm actually going to bring in something called a map control, and that will be used to punch a hole in the background for our text. Let's bring in our text. I'm going to come up to the right and type in help me. Now the font I used is called Terra, and I got it from a website called DaFonts, completely free. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Now take your text out like this and connect it to your map control. But before letting go, hold the Alt key and it'll bring up this window here. And what we need to do is make sure it goes in as a foreground like that. Then click on the map control, come over to the right hand side, and under the combine, change it to combine alpha like that. Then we need to come down, and where it says here invert map, click on that and it gives us that. Next thing I'm going to do is add a transform node to the text, and I'm going to increase it in size, something like that. And I'm also going to give it a bit of a rotation and move it up as well. Now I'm going to add a duplicate node, and I'm going to use that to create a bit of depth. And how we do that is click on the map control, shift space bar, and we're looking for the duplicate node, which is that one there. Unfortunately on my system, don't know why it brings in the wrong one, so I have to manually bring it in from the effects menu up here. So we'll connect that in like that. Make sure it's connected. See how that didn't connect? So let's just connect that across. Clicking on the duplicate node, come across to the right hand side and change the copies to 3. Come down to size and change it to 0.99. And I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually just given us a little bit of depth, but it'll show up when I add the background. In fact, why not? Let's do that now. So coming across to the media pool, we need to drag in the background. I got this from Vector Easy. Good housekeeping, let's rename it. And let's just connect that into our duplicate right there. And the first thing you'll notice is we've got no text. And there's a reason for that, and that is we need to come to this merge here, click on it, come across to the right hand side, and under operator here, we need to change that to a top. Now we can see that our text background is actually bigger than the composition. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a transform tool here. So just click on this. Oh, put it in the wrong place. Click on the text and then add the transform like that. And then what we can do is just scale that right down like so, and then we'll see the floor. Now to give our text more depth, I'm going to add a shadow to it. So I'm going to click on this merge here, shift space bar, and we're looking for a shadow, which is this one here. I'm going to add that. Now some people use the drop shadow. I like this one because if I move this arrow around, it gives us a bit more finite control over the depth of our text and everything. So I'm going to make it there, and then I'm going to drop the softness down as well. Right, let's add a background behind our text. Again, I got this from Vector Easy. So I'm going to bring this in, good housekeeping, F2. And I'm going to connect that to that shadow like so. And it's coming as a foreground, obviously, because we can't see anything. So come down to this merge, click on it, right click and hit swap inputs. And look at that, it's come right behind it. I want to change the text color because I don't like the bluish gray. So we're going to click on the text video and hit shift space bar. and we're looking for a CC color corrector, which is that one there. And we can come across to the right hand side, and if we nudge these around, we can actually change the color to something we like. I kind of like that. Now I'm going to teach you a really cool trick. Well, it's not really cool, but it made me smile. And that is, if we come to the original text, click on the transform and come up to the toolbar and hit the blur, then come up to the right hand side and just nudge the blur, you get more of a horror type text, in my opinion, which I love. We're going to come to the text background, the grungy background, and we're also going to click on the transform here, and we're going to add another CC color corrector there, because I think it's a bit too grey. I think it needs to be a bit more evil. Yeah, something like that. Right, now we need to add our particle blood, and that's really easy to do. We need to come up to our toolbar, drag a particle emitter in, particle directional force, and a particle renderer. So the emitter gives us our particles, the directional force tells us the direction, and the renderer takes it all out into the 2D world for us to see. Now if you look in the window, we've got particles. They are not the best in the world, but we can do better. I actually created a blood particle just using Affinity Photo. It'll be available for download with this project, and I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Now if I try and connect that to our emitter, it won't have it, and the reason for that is we need to come across to the emitter. Under style here, click on that, then come down and under point, change it to bitmap, and you'll notice a little yellow triangle has come up, and it now allows me to connect in like that. And if I play that back, we get one burst of blood. The reason for that is we need to click on the blood, come across to the right hand side, and change it to loop. And now when we play that back, it'll always come out like that. Right, let's go back to the emitter, because I don't like it coming from a circle. I'm going to come over to the region and change it from sphere to line like that. And what we'll do is we'll take this point here, just put it inside the text there, and then we'll take this point here and we'll just put it inside that E just there. And if I play that back, now we're getting a pulsating effect, and there's two reasons for that. We need to come to the control panel here, and under the emitter you'll see this section here that says temporal distribution. Change that to randomly distributed, play that back and see how it looks. Still a bit pulsy, so what we can do is go across to the style menu, and under animate here we're going to change that to particle age, and then when we play that back, yeah, that's looking a lot better. Now the only thing I don't like now is there's too many particles and they're not big enough. Let's come down under size control here. We're going to crank up the size, something like that. And then under this chart thing here, we're going to click a dot just there and bring that down. And what that'll do is it will fade the particle out at the end of its life. Let's play that back. Very cool. Right, let's change the number. So the way the particle emitter works is on frame 1 it emits 10 frames, on frame 2 it emits another 10 frames, and frame 3, etc, etc, etc. So we really need to lower that down. So I'm actually going to change it from 10 to 1.3 like that. Let's see what that looks like. That is far more evil. I am liking it. Right, the only thing now is if we look at it, when the particles hit the floor, they don't actually hit the floor, they go off screen. And we can actually make it hit the floor, and let me show you how we do that. Click on this particle directional force here, shift spacebar. We're looking for something called a P friction, which is this one here. Let's add that. Now what we need to do is we need to bring in a background node. We need to change its color to white, and we need to add a rectangle mass to it. On this rectangle mass, what we're going to do is stretch that out like that, and we're going to bring it just down so it's just slightly above the floor like that. Now again, if I try and connect this into the particle friction, it doesn't have it, because we need to tell the particle friction what's happening. So clicking on the particle friction, come over to the region, and under region here, change it to bitmap like that, and then we can connect it in. Next, we need to tell the region what we're doing. So where is it? So see here where it says region mode, we need to change that to when inside region. And what that means is, if I put that background in the window, anytime the particles hit the white here, they'll actually slow down. So let's set that up. If I play it back currently, not really doing anything, but if I click on the particle friction, go over to the control panel here and increase the velocity friction. Let's see what happens now. Look at that. Very cool. The only thing I don't like is they're looking a bit 2D, and we can actually do a little trick to make it look like they're following the floor. And how we do that is click on this particle render here, hit Shift Spacebar, and we're looking for a tool called Grid Warp, which is that one there. The Grid Warp deforms anything that we adjust. So if I come here and start moving these points around to an extreme, like so, what you'll see is that the particles actually start to move as well. So let's play that back and see what that looks like. Not bad. I think I need to bring the mask down a little bit. Let's come to this rectangular mask and just bring it down like that. There we are. Now the only other thing I don't like is I think the particles are a bit too bright. So what we're going to do is click on this grid warp here, Shift Spacebar, and we're looking for a color corrector again. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to take the gain right down, so make them really black. Right, let's add some video to this. Now again, I got this from Vector. I think I'm addicted to them. I downloaded this skeleton. I can't pronounce it. Let's rename it. And yes, my dyslexia kicks in there. So we're going to take the output from that and connect it in like that. Now, in order to get rid of the green, what we need is something called a delta keyer. So we're going to hit Shift Spacebar, DEL, delta keyer, that one there. Then all we need to do is come and grab the picker tool just here and just look at that. How cool is that? Right, we're going to add a transform because currently he's sitting in midair. So let's click on the delta keyer, come up to the toolbar and hit transform. We're going to lower him down so he's more on the floor. Then what we'll do is at frame 30, we'll move him off screen and hit a keyframe just here on the center X and Y. We'll go say 120 frames to frame 120, and we'll move him off screen so he's walking across like that. Let's play that back and see how that looks. Now we can see that he's actually sliding across the floor, which means we're moving him at the wrong speed. So what we need to do is click on this transform node here, come up to the keyframe editor just here, click on that, make sure you hit zoom to fit. Then what we need to do is toggle this so it comes down, and this last keyframe here that I've just selected, this one just here, what we're going to do is we're going to move that right back to say 200, and let's play that back and see how that looks. Still slipping a bit, so let's give him some more time. Make sure I'm on the transform, go up to the keyframe and just give him some more space like that. And that looks far better. Yeah, far better. Now what we'll do is, I don't like his color. So what we're going to do is go to the transform here, Shift Spacebar. We're looking for another CC color corrector. What we'll do is we'll take him down, make him a bit darker, and we'll change his color as well to make it more orangey like that. Right, let's bring in the bats. So here's our bats. F2, rename it, and we're going to connect that across as well. So again, we need to add a delta keyer to that. So Shift Spacebar, delta keyer right there. Come across to the right hand side, grab our picker. There we are, and it's got rid of them. Now the only problem with the bats is that they come on right at the beginning, and we don't want that. So what we can do is, if you click on the video, come across to the right hand side, up here, this is actually our in and out point. So what we can do is just drag that over so it comes in just here, so that when we play it, they actually come in at frame 171. Now the only problem is they actually jump straight in, there's no fade. And we can fix that actually by, we go down to this merge down here. What we can do is click a keyframe at 169 on the blend, say go forward, say 193, click another keyframe, Hit this little arrow to go back and change the blend mode to 0. And then what will happen is it'll fade in. How cool is that? Let's add some ground fog. Again, I got this from Vector Easy. I'm just going to rename it F2 fog. I'm going to add a transform to it. And you can see that it's actually a lot bigger than the screen. So what we'll do is we'll scale that down somewhere around about there. Now we could use a delta keyer on this, but it's actually probably better to use something called a luma keyer. So what we'll do is we'll click on that transform. Actually, let's click on the fog. Ooh, come down here, use fan. Click on the fog, shift space bar, and we're looking for something called a luma keyer, which is that one there, and everything vanishes. So what we need to do is come across to the right hand side and play around with the contract and expand and this one up here. So let's just do this one here first. And you can see how fog is coming in. Oh, I like that. But I don't like the color. So let's just change that color. And how we do that is with the CC color corrector. And I'm going to push the color into the orange. Yes, like there. Let's play that back. Right, there's one final thing to do, guys. You can add grain to it if you want. You can darken it down as well. What I did is I brought in a background node. F2, we're going to call it Vignette or Vin. I'm going to connect that into our merge here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an elliptical mask to it. Come over to the right and invert it so we get this. And then what I'm going to do is stretch it out like a that, and a bit up here like this. You can turn off this show view controls here, so you get that. And then if you crank up the soft edge, you get a really nice look like that. And to blend it down, just come down to the merge here, and then take the blend down like that. Very cool. Now, before I go, I want to show you one more thing, and that is at any time you can now go back in there and change that text out. So if I want to, I can change that and all the effects will still be the same. Isn't that cool? And one more thing you can do is go to this text background behind your text, click on the color corrector, and if you want to, you can increase the gain just to make it a bit more horror-y behind there. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Like I say, it will be available from my website. You can download it for absolutely free of charge. Just hit that subscribe button, go to the website and put in your email address, and you can download this project and any other project from my site. If you've got any comments, questions or whatever, please leave them in the below this video. I love reading them, love reading the feedback, and I will see you in the next one. I really need to stop doing that.